Hey guys, and welcome to my preview of the FA Cup semi-finals this weekend. It's a huge lineup. It's the first semi-final is between Chelsea and Tottenham, and that game is going to be played tomorrow, Saturday. And the second semi-final is between Arsenal and Man City, which will be played on Sunday. Both games will be played at Wembley Stadium, and well, it's the strongest FA Cup semi-final lineup in years. So you really have no idea who's gonna win and who's gonna get to the final and who's gonna win the tournament outright. So let's get on with the previews and the battles. Right. So first, I'm gonna preview Chelsea and Tottenham. And these are the top two in the Premier League, so it should be a really interesting match. These are the only two teams for me that have been able to match each other perfectly, and that's why they are both in what could turn out to be a really exciting and with lots of twists and turns title race. So these two teams by far have been the most superior teams in the Premier League this season. It's kind of obvious. I mean, they are the top two. So, this match will be tough to call, So as for Chelsea, well, they've led the league every single day since November the 5th. Well, not every single match day since November the 5th. So, that's absolutely astonishing. So, like, how they are just starting to crumble a bit now is it's a bit strange for me. They really shouldn't be crumbling at this time of the season. Because at this point, the league should be secured for Chelsea. But instead, they are being dragged into a really unnecessary title race by Tottenham. And as for Tottenham, well, they have been the informed Premier League team of 2017. It is as simple as that. Tottenham have been exceptional, right from defense to attack. Harry Kane with 20 goals, Dele Alli with 16, and then Hugo Lloris and his rest on his defense with getting loads and loads and loads of clean sheets. It's a perfect blend. It's amazing how Mauricio Pochettino has built this team from pushovers in 2014 to a team that everyone has immense respect playing against. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And then you have Chelsea, who are they're just a bit more polished version of Tottenham at the this season. Because they're pretty good in all the areas that Tottenham are good in. It's just that Chelsea had a better start to the season. So that's the only difference. Well, as for the battles, well, the first battle is going to be between Hugo Lloris of Tottenham and Thibaut Courtois of Chelsea. Well, these are two amazing goalkeepers. Two goalkeepers that I mean that are in the running for the Golden Glove every single year. So they get loads and loads and loads of clean sheets. And Thibaut Courtois, he's 6'7". I mean, there's no way he wouldn't have been a goalkeeper. He's so tall, and when you think that they're finally gonna let one in, he just spreads those his big arms and those his big legs, and he just gets to it. It's just so amazing how he just gets to the ball when you think that it's absolutely done. As for Hugo Lloris, well, he's a more ordinary height player, but he's still just as good, But Thibaut Courtois has been the best goalkeeper in the Premier League this season. Hugo Lloris has had he's had his moments where he's made some mistakes, but overall he's still been pretty good. But the winner of this battle for me is Thibaut Courtois because he's simply been more consistent. Right, so The defensive battle is going to be between David Luiz of Chelsea and Toby Alderweireld of Tottenham. Well, David Luiz, I've talked about him before. We all thought he was going to be a joke in the Premier League coming back, but he's made the PFA Team of the Year. That's just how good he's been, and he has been exceptional, David Luiz. It really is exceptional. Like he's just become so good. It's amazing how he's changed. Like even when he was in PSG, he still wasn't the best defender. I mean, one incident that springs to mind is in 2015 when Luis Suarez absolutely destroyed him in the Champions League quarterfinal. I mean, the incident that really comes back to mind is that nutmeg before the third Barca goal. That was absolutely sublime. But it made David Luiz look like the Eiffel Tower. His legs. So that was just the peak of his fall for me. But he's improved so much. He's actually learned how to defend, and that's really good for him. As for Toby Alderweireld, I'm going to give this to Toby Alderweireld because he's slightly more reliable. David Luiz, despite how good he's been, he has a mistake in him. Most central defenders do. And all central defenders have a mistake in them. But I think Toby Alderweireld is just that bit more reliable. So that goes to Toby Alderweireld. Right, so the midfield battle, the first midfield battle, is going to be between N'Golo Kante and Moussa Dembele. Well, N'Golo Kante, he is the favourite for the PFA Player of the Year award, and he has been nominated along with, you know who, Eden Hazard, Alexis Sanchez, Harry Kane, Romelu Lukaku, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So, I mean, that just shows how good he's been. He was third last year, but this year he's definitely going to win because people last year, people including me included, we all forgot about Kante and voted for we all went for either Riyad Mahrez or Jamie Vardy. I personally thought Jamie Vardy was the player of the year, but Riyad Mahrez won. But when Kante left Leicester, it just showed how big of a miss it was, and it just shows that the real player of the year last year was N'Golo Kante, because of that, many people are not willing to make the same mistake again. So that means that the winner of the PFA Player of the Year award this year is more than likely going to be N'Golo Kante. As for Moussa Dembele, well, Dembele, there's still a feeling that he hasn't reached his full potential yet, even though he's still very, very good. So, but he scores, he can dribble, he can pass, he can tackle. That's pretty much everything you need from a defensive midfielder. So, I'm gonna no this one. And Kante just edges it because he's more reliable and he's just been exceptional this season. Right. The second midfield battle is going to be between Eden Hazard of Chelsea and Christian Eriksen of Tottenham. No, sorry, Dele Alli of Tottenham. Well, Eden Hazard, another nominee for the PFA Player of the Year award, he's been absolutely sublime this season. For me, he's second to Kante in my opinion. He's got back to that form of their title winning season in 2015. He really has improved so much since last year where he was just unrecognizable. So that's an improvement for him. As for Dele Alli, well, for me, I personally think he should have been nominated for the senior award, but in the end, Dele Alli had to be stuck with with the PFA Young Player of the Year award nomination. He's certainly gonna win that. If he doesn't, it will be one of the biggest shocks in PFA history. So he should be nominated for the senior award as well, in my opinion. So this one's a draw for me. This one's a draw. Right. The striker battle, Harry Kane, Diego Costa. Well, we know all about these two players. Harry Kane has improved a lot since the turn of the year, whereas Diego Costa has gone down, 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 and down. Only 3 goals this calendar year in the Premier League. That just shows how far he's gone down. But 17 goals, that's still a decent return for a whole season, and with more games left. So he will be looking to add to his tally. But for me, it's been Harry Kane definitely wins this battle, which means that the battle's overall 2-2. And I think this game will go to extra time, and Chelsea will edge it in extra time. So, in my opinion, I think Chelsea will win. All right, you can predict who you think is gonna win. The I bar with the question is gonna come up somewhere around now, so you can predict who you think is gonna win. Right, now the second match. The second match, Arsenal versus Man City. It's the second time in recent weeks that Arsenal and Man City have met in a game. So I mean, this is do or die for both teams, in my opinion, because if any of these teams want to win a trophy, then they'll have to look for the FA Cup, because both teams cannot win the Premier. Well, Man City have a slight outside chance with their games in hand, but Arsenal can't win the Premier League. Arsenal and City were knocked out of the League Cup. Arsenal and City were knocked out of the Champions League. So this is their pretty much last chance saloon for both teams. As for Arsenal, well, it's been a terrible year for Arsenal. And every neutral can laugh at their expense. It really has been just shambolic from Arsenal this year. It's actually, they've just been so bad. Oh dear, they've actually just been so bad. I mean, they won their last game and they were even lucky in that game. But for me, the combination of all their bad performances was when they lost to 3-0 to Crystal Palace. There was no effort in whatsoever in that game. So that just sums up Arsenal's season. As for Man City, it's been a season pretty similar to last season. They started the season on absolute top form, winning their first 6 games very, very easily indeed. Then they lost to Tottenham, and then they've just been very, very inconsistent. But the turning point involved them in this title race. The turning point in this title race was on the 3rd of December 2016, when Chelsea went to the Etihad and beat Man City. That was the turning point. And since then, Man City haven't really recovered fully. But they will be fancying themselves to win this battle, with the low confidence in Arsenal. Right, so let's move on, go to the battles. And goalkeeper, neither goalkeeping department has been reliable this season, but Petr Cech wins this one because he's, again, simply more reliable than either Claudio Bravo or Willy Caballero. So he wins that one. Now, defense, Laurent Koscielny versus Nicolas Otamendi. Well, this one is going to be a draw for me because Laurent Koscielny hasn't been as good as he can be this season, as where Nicolas Otamendi has improved immensely this season. So this one's a draw. Right, the first midfield battle is going to be between Granit Xhaka and Fernandinho. Granit Xhaka, let's face it, he has been a terrible signing. One of the worst signings of the season. I mean, he has no he has no discipline, and all the things that they said he could do, he doesn't do them. You know, so it's just it's been a terrible signing for Arsenal, but he's young, so he has time, so he'll probably improve next season. And let's not forget, not every foreigner does very well in their first season in the Premier League. You know, I mean, even Thierry Henry wasn't brilliant in his first season in the Premier League, and Robert Perez, it's very few players like Chicharito, Javier Hernandez that succeed in their first season in the Premier League. So you give him that one. As for Fernandinho, he's reliable, can put his body on the line, can score, can pass, can tackle. He's everything you want a midfielder to be, and he has leadership qualities, so that's a bonus. So that very very good for as Man City are concerned, and he wins this battle. Right. The second midfield battle is going to be between Mesut Ozil and Kevin De Bruyne. Mesut Ozil, he has had an underwhelming season so far. He started the season very well, but his season so far right now, it's been very underwhelming. He doesn't have that. He doesn't seem to have that fight in him. He works very hard. I mean, people mistake his languid, lethargic body movement for not working hard. But in most games. He actually runs more than Alexis Sanchez. People think that Alexis Sanchez works harder than anyone in the Premier League, but he really doesn't actually. So that's that's pretty sad for Mesut Ozil in that sense. But he just doesn't look like he has fighting him sometimes. So for me, Kevin De Bruyne wins this battle. But for me, Kevin De Bruyne, he's missed some crucial moments in this season. I mean, going back to that City and Chelsea game back in December, when it was 1-0 to Man City, Kevin De Bruyne missed an open goal from 3 yards. 3 yards out. And he hit the crossbar. Like, let's say that's... Let's try and imagine, right? Let's try and imagine what happens if he scores that. It's 2-0. Chelsea are probably dead and buried, and they don't have the confidence to go on their long 13-game unbeaten run. So that was the crucial moment in the title race for me, as I've already mentioned. But he does win this battle because this season he's just been better. Simple as that. Right, Alexis Sanchez, striker battle. Alexis Sanchez versus Sergio Aguero. Alexis Sanchez, it was a master stroke from Arsene Wenger turning him into a striker. It really, really was. So he wins this battle because he has more goals and he still gets assists. But Aguero hasn't been as fluent this season, but he still got 119 Premier League goals in 6 seasons. So Alexis Sanchez only edges Aguero. Only edges. Right, so that leaves the battles at 2-2. And I think this one will be close. Man City are the favourites for me, but Arsenal should have determination to make it to an FA Cup final because that's pretty much the only thing they can do. So in my opinion, I think Man City will win this match 2-1 in normal time. And you guys can press I again. It should come up right about now to make your vote on who you think is going to win. So that's the preview done. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.